All right, well, I'll just pull this up because
pull up the story maybe on
since Friday, they've actually dipped 2.34%.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's a
that looks like, I bet you.
Right, there's a visual drop.
I mean, I'm just going to use some logic here. And I'm going to say that is when the campaign happened.
Yeah. But it's not apocalyptic because all they did was do a partnership can. Mm-hmm. And as of today, it's up like 0.2%. After hours is 0.2%. But since last Friday, they... so Friday, then Tuesday the 30th, it was at 33. It's dropped 2.34%. So its low was down, what was it, like almost $2 or $3?
It's down.
Yeah, their Bud Light's way down. It's
I want to
crazy how bad
screenshot
they are.
it and put like one of those progress flags, like right where it drops, and then be like, boom.
So we put it out on the 27th. So we put the article on the 27th. So yeah, it would have been Friday, Thursday or Friday.
So when people are reading the news, there it is, boom.
Yeah, that Tuesday, and that was bang.
Tuesday's when the drop.
This was and it makes sense because Monday was Memorial Day.
Yeah, was there no stock trading on Memorial Day?
I think so. It goes Friday to Tuesday, so it drops right
After.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's
right when people are back from the holiday.
It's the queer theory effect, boys and girls.
Wow, I call it the Bud Light effect.
I'm all about impact investment. If you do it right, this is just like a battle of wills because, like Tim, what you did with the Times Square banner, the Times Square billboards, that was impact investment. That didn't make the company any money necessarily off the top. It just brought brand awareness to what you want to bring.
But that's not
awareness
impact
to.
investment.
It's a form of it.
It's just
you're right. It's advertising. It's not technically
if we
impact
put up
investment.
If we put up an ad that said something like, woke is bad,
Yes.
that's an impact investment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're right.
We just put up billboards. I was like, watch the show. It's great.
But even that, like using your own personal money or your company's money to promote things you like, I mean, that seems righteous on its heel. It's just a matter of if you like psycho stuff, then, maybe... Do you think should it be illegal for business owners to spend their business's money?
No.
I don't think so.
I think it should be illegal for places like HRC to create a woke credit score that people have to abide by if they want to compete.
Who's giving HRC
look at this.
credence?
Look at this.
No. So again, that's all based off BlackRock and Vanguard, who's running the ESG
and State Street.
scores,
Yep.
because that feeds into the ESG scores.
What is this?
Look at this shelf. So Friday, it's here.
Brutal.
And
It's a
then
cliff.
Tuesday, because of the holiday weekend, it dropped $2 right away. 5% down in 5 days.
It's funny. They didn't sell as much as they thought they would on Monday for the holiday, apparently.
Look at this. It's so bad. At the start of the year, they were at $60, and now they're at 53.
The power of the people, man.
Bud Light. It's going to keep going down. Like, I can't imagine anyone. Look,
What
when
happened
Bud Light
when
comes
it went
out,
up?
this
Only
was
way.
before. This was
it was
before. So you've got the summer months coming up. You've got great reports, and then March 31st is the day before Dylan Mulvaney. There was a quick sell. I remember when it went down, and here's what I think. I think people saw it go down and went, boycotts never work. I'm going to buy the dip. So it goes back up a little bit, and then it didn't stop. And now the people who are holding it are like, okay, we can't hold on to this. We got to sell it. There's literally no sane reason to hold on to a stock that is doubling down on why it's crashing, which is perhaps the woke don't care that they will destroy this company's stock, because Anheuser-Busch stock is not just Bud Light. Bud Light is one product out of hundreds. Yeah. But this company has said, we know you're angry. What did the CEO say? We didn't want to be involved in a conversation that was divisive. Let's give hundreds of thousands of more dollars to more of these organizations. They know they are ripping their country to shreds. So if someone's still holding this stock, that's the definition of insanity. The internet definition of insanity. They are holding their hand to a glass top stove and going like, yeah, but give it a second. It'll stop burning in a second.
That's the sunk cost fallacy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, look, at the top of this chart, if you were an investor and you paid attention to a show like this, and you went, what's this? There's a controversy with Bud Light. I'm going to sell all my stock. It's peaked. It's really high. And I'm going to buy a company that does beer that's not controversial. And you invested in, say, Coors. You are up 20%.
Yeah.
Or something like that. If you said, this will all blow over, you are down 10.84% this year. And from the peak, you're down way more. I think 15, it's probably more than 15 to be honest, because that's just the past month. And we're looking at 2 months. So you're down from 66 to 53.
Yeah, and that gap, it has to do with the initial sell-off happened think a lot of people thought that, there was going to be a pump of, ESG money into it to get them past the controversy, but the controversy never passed. And so now you're seeing the effect of the boycott actually taking place, because now it's like, hey, this isn't going away. We don't have enough money to save this stock. And so that's the difference between like sales and profit in companies and financial institutions of money of companies, because that's where the stock market and companies don't necessarily match up with, a stock price is not indicative of profits necessarily.
I imagine that they were feeling the shake of pain. Maybe there was an influx of ESG money for this first month, but that they were realizing for the first month what they're going to have to cut. Like everything is falling now. So, and then you don't start to see it. They tried their best to kind of mask it with rebuys of stock and stuff.
In the past 6 months, Target is down 20%. In the past 6 months, Walmart is down 3.79.
So something's interesting, because you brought something up that's really interesting. You said, look at this first dip, and then it's like, oh, but then they said boycotts don't work.
Yep.
So that's interesting, because do Target,
Nope.
they don't? Okay, so that came afterwards. So I wonder if they're like, okay, boycotts work now.
Yeah,
exactly. So you take a look at this. You look at Target, and right around the time the controversy started, May 17th, from 160 all the way down to 130, $30 off their share price, and there was no dip.
Yep.
So New York Mag wrote this article, and they said, when I heard about the Bud Light boycott, I said, it's not going to work. It never works. And then it did. And now people are scared, like, uh-oh, why? There's no one here and no one online can give me a legitimate reason as to why you would intentionally hold a stock facing a massive controversy when you can, with the swipe of your phone, sell the stock, buy any other company not controversial, wait, and then buy it back later on if you really wanted to.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Nothing. It doesn't make sense at all. So I can only imagine there are people who are holding on to the stock for AB InBev who don't really pay attention and have a diverse portfolio, and they're like, stocks go up and down. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a really great point you made, that Target doesn't have the rebuy, people buying the dip, because people are like, nope, I'm getting out of this.
Exactly. I think people are waking up, and the fact that the stocks are is incredible.
I wouldn't be surprised if come next week, AB InBev is in the 40s. And then
welcome it.
Imagine being down 30 some odd % on the stock that you bought, and still thinking that you can hold. It's like a gambler's fallacy almost.
I think you're right, though, is most people, when they put their stuff in like mutual funds and all that stuff, they're not thinking about that, and their investor is doing it. So
why is my 401k going down?
What's going on? And so you have to go look and see what your mutual funds are invested in. If they're invested in Anheuser-Busch, you might want to go tell your... But that would also be possibly a lawsuit against, the financial institution that's holding the mutual fund, because they're not completing their fiduciary duty to get out of a bad stock.
I think there's serious lawsuit potential.
Yeah.
There are safeguards in place for stockholders, and the institutions may be captured. Bud Light, AB InBev may be captured by woke psychopaths, but there is still a mechanism to defend those from someone. It could be really simple. It could be using wokeness to intentionally destroy a company for some reason. And I wonder this: who has shorted Bud stock? Because when here's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
When I see Bud Light say we're going to sponsor more Pride events and give more money, I'm like, okay, who at that company told a friend to short to buy put options? Mm-hmm. Because they're like, hey, we lost 30% because of this, and then someone goes, 30% of your sales?
That's a lot of put options.
So this boycott's huge. So what do you think? In a week, you could lose 10% if you did it again. It could be a 10% drop. I'll put $100,000 in puts, and then you do it again. Boom, we get a 10% return. I would be investigating that, but of course the DOJ is fairly woke. They probably won't, but I'm willing to bet someone somewhere bought put options on Bud, because we were talking about this before. We were like, man, we read the news all day, every day. Why don't we invest in what we talk about? Because we knew this was happening before it happened. And I was like, I don't know. I think the stock's going to drop. And it was fine. People were buying the dip. I could have bought a bunch of puts and been like, oh yeah, I bought, but I didn't. I don't do any of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I wonder how many people watching probably did. How much money did they make?
I have a very important question. Is the Paul Pelosi stock tracker back on Twitter? Because that is where all of our answers lie, my friends.
I think there is a woke index.
Okay, yes.
So There's
Someone go check that and put it in the super chats. Please.
there'd been a lot of people have been pointing out that companies that embrace wokeness are not going to make money because they're embracing ideology over meritocracy. So there have been people who have targeted these companies to short them because they're like, if they outright publicly say they care more about ideology over actually being a company, they're going to lose a ton of money.
It's like GameStop, but not, because it's not like they're not intentionally tanking the stock. It's interesting.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.